Oh, I heard about this. Here we go. See, one of those things I would have definitely, as soon as I logged off, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I heard about this. I heard about honey being a scam. I didn't know about it, but now apparently there's like a new program called Pi that's doing the same thing. Let's might as well cover the whole thing at once. Let's go.
Simon says, upgrade. Again.
Simon
What's new?
says.
Who cares?
Yes, 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 yes. Shut up! Don't freaking
Simon
talk back to
says,
me.
limit your choices.
Alright, yo, for
Solo
serious
tienes
though, you're
manzana.
gonna get me in trouble here, YouTube, and then you get mad. And then you get mad when like there's music on my freaking like stream. Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing, YouTube? What is this? Alright. Upper Echelon. Freaking love this dude's content. Please go and show him some support. Let's get right into
This
the video.
video is brought to you by Ground News. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they are providing to the entire Upper Echelon community. Okay, recently, as in very recently, a particular video went viral on YouTube about a browser extension called Honey. Great video, by the way. Absolutely, you should go watch it, and I'll obviously link it down below in the description. But it focused on a coupon savings application called Honey, which has now sponsored pretty much every single major YouTuber you've ever heard of. I'm not going to list every single individual creator who fell for it right now, because a much better usage of your time is to just go watch.
Yeah, we're probably gonna end up reacting to that immediately after this.
Watch the original video itself, but the gist of it is that pretty much all of your favorite YouTubers have been vocally promoting a product called Honey, and very few of them had any idea why that's probably a bad thing to do. Again, please do watch the original video. It's not really possible to fully summarize all of it with just a few sentences, but if I had to try, Honey bad, Honey steal money, Honey hurt creators without them knowing. That's basically it. Now, just to be fair, YouTubers very often get offered exorbitant sums of money to promote various products or services, so much so that I can't really blame them for sometimes overlooking red flags or failing to see warning signs during the process of due diligence. It happens to all of us, period. It just does. However, Honey has now become a hot topic of scrutiny, largely because of how big it got before anyone caught the problem, except in my estimation, that same problem is now attempting to be reborn, only this time potentially worse, coming from one of the same founders who is now threatening to middleman the entire YouTube advertising ecosystem, just like they middlemanned the world of affiliate marketing with Honey. All in all, today I want to showcase why the recently viral video exposing issues with the coupon code application Honey might just be the tip of the iceberg, and how their new project Pi.org, from one of the very same co-founders, is attempting to demolish the ad revenue of everyday creators like me, hence why I'm so passionate about it, by invasively inserting themselves into the pipeline and siphoning off revenue for no other reason than we should just be a middleman. Basically, Honey could be more so an early warning sign, and if left unchecked, these guys are going to do the very same thing again to every single industry they possibly can. Let's get into it. First things first, the service I'm talking about today, Pi, is apparently the registered trademark of a company called the People's Internet Experiment, Incorporated, which is itself a California-based company whose key principal is one Ryan Hudson. Let's call him today's main character, I guess. Here's the thing. Ryan Hudson is the previous co-founder of Honey, along with a man named George Ruan, a fact that they seem to be pretty much bragging about on the Pi.org website, which is then even further amplified by their Google advertising. Yeah, it turns out, after doing a pretty hefty amount of digging, refreshing pages and keyword searching so that YouTube might finally serve me a specific advertisement that I was looking for, again, because I remembered, well, now, wait a second, didn't that company say Honey in the promo that they just showed me? None of it worked, by the way. I ended up finding this only because they're dumb enough to have an unlisted YouTube channel, which is running raw videos of the ads that they serve with coded names and even the names of the creators who are advertising them directly in it. And from there, I tracked down the actual advertising content itself, which if it now gets deleted, you're just going to incriminate yourselves worse, by the way. So don't do it. But yeah, it turns out that the People's Internet Experiment Incorporated is currently running about 300 different advertisements on Google AdWords. Now, to be clear, as per the advertisement that actually caused me to start looking at all this, Pi.org, the newly designed middleman ad blocker from the same founder as Honey, this new application isn't just aimed at YouTube. No, no, no. It's aimed at practically every single creator content platform on the internet. I'm not just trying to appeal to YouTubers right now. If you make music on Spotify, or if you stream on Twitch, or any number of other content platforms out there online at the moment, this might very well affect you if they get a foothold in the business market. Anyway, here it is. And just to be clear, I'm playing this advertisement under the 4 pillars of fair use: purpose and character of the use, nature of the copyrighted work, amount or substantiality of the portion used, as well as the effect of the use on the potential market for or value of the work. I know my shit, don't fuck with me, like the Hex token music losers, okay? They lost. Anyway, the clip I'm about to show serves the purpose of demonstrating a critical topic, and I have a copyright-skilled lawyer on my literal payroll for the purpose of shutting down desperate claims by scumbag companies. So just figured that would be worth saying. Here it is.
That's dope.
This is the only ad blocker I've ever
Flexing
used
a little,
on
you know?
YouTube, Twitch, and Spotify. This is Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that blocks ads everywhere you go online. And don't worry, it won't download a bunch of shit onto your computer like other ad blockers. Pi is a trusted LA-based company that's actually founded by one of the creators of Honey. The coolest part is that if you decide you do want to see ads, Pi will literally pay you for seeing them. Like, I made money just from this Google search. Good luck finding another ad blocker that does that. Speaking of things other ad blockers don't do, Pi also has a visual mode that lets you watch your ads disappear and see how much space you're saving. So if you want this to be the last ad you ever see, get Pi for free right now.
All right, you hear that? Trusted LA-based company blocking ads on YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, and quote, everywhere else you go
even
online,
on Spotify,
which is first of all not possible.
Damn. Okay.
Not even the best ad blocking software.
Yeah, no, I've been getting a lot
of
of ads for them, for sure, for sure.
It's a
I
claim
was
that this company will now insert themselves into the advertising process for pretty much every single major platform out there, and then pay the user if they want to see the ads. On the surface, yeah, sounds great. You, as in you watching this right now, the video, might be salivating at the idea of getting paid for the ads that you watch on social media because those ads are mercilessly wasting your time. But think about it one step further. This company, Pi.org, cannot, and does not, have an official partnership with all of these different platforms. But even if they did, they do not, and likely could never, have a partnership with the individual creators, which means that when you use this application and watch advertisements with it for the purpose of getting paid, you are doing the exact same thing that you would otherwise be doing, except this time, the only person getting paid is Pi. In essence, much the same thing that's happening with Honey, they seem to be stealing the revenue of everyone they possibly can, while making it seem like the end result is better for customers and viewers. But as a creator, that is point blank horrible. Before getting into the rest
they
of the video,
basically
a lot of what I
block
focus on for
YouTube's
content
ad,
these days, aside
but
from
then
video
offer you,
games,
hey,
is technology,
you can
sometimes
watch an
politics,
ad
and
anyways,
media
but it'll
literacy.
be our
That
ad.
last one is what really matters here, because in a social media
Then we
dominated
make
online
money,
landscape,
and we
media
give you like a
literacy
couple
feels
a
like
penny or
it's
two.
completely falling apart. To help with that, and also because it's a tool that I vetted for about 6 months before working with them, which I personally use in the production of certain videos. To help with that, we have today's video sponsor, which is Ground News. Ground News is a media aggregate service which
That's
notably
genius
cuts through
and
bias
evil at the
provides
same
as much
time. I'm sorry, like, hold on. So basically, yeah, they basically take away the ad revenue from YouTube because it blocks that ad, but then they tell you, hey, we'll pay you to watch this ad. But then, yeah, they're gonna give you like 2 cents, 3, not even that, they give you like a cent per ad, and then you'll be like, oh, yeah, I guess, or maybe they'll tell you, oh, you get 0.001 cent or some BS like that, and then meanwhile, they get like 20 bucks a freaking roll, you know? It's like, nah, screw them, that is on some BS.
from Celsius Network, because I was one of the first few people criticizing the fraud scheme. Not the first, mind you. That was a guy who goes back in. Here you can see the feed for it works by gathering everything in one place machinely from Celsius fraudster who just pled guilty on 2 counts with a maximum sentence of 30 years. And for anyone who wasn't with the channel back in 2022, I actually got a cease and desist personally from Celsius Network because I was one of the first few people criticizing the fraud scheme. Not the first, mind you. That was a guy who goes by the name Dirty Bubble Media, who I interviewed a couple of times. Awesome guy. I was more like the second person. But then a few weeks later, after they cease and desisted me for calling out their fraud scheme, they went Chapter 11 bankrupt because it was a fraud scheme. And now the CEO is serving up to 30 years in prison. I'm going to take a massive W on that one. Regardless, if you follow the story on Ground News, there's hour-by-hour updates, and if you go through and start actually reading these, which have all been gathered up nicely for you, there's always more information, much more information, than you would otherwise have from any single source. There's a variety of other extremely valuable tools available on the website, like blind spot coverage or personal bias checkers, but for whatever reason you eventually decide, if you click the link down below in the description or scan the QR code to sign up, you'll get 50% off the Vantage plan, which you can even gift to someone else if you wanted to. Like if you know someone who's just constantly wrong about current events and lives in some kind of massive bubble, give it to them. Again, link down below, ground.news.
Here's a subscription to Ground News. Educate yourself.
Big thank you to Ground News for
Bro, that is the
sponsoring
most badass insult ever.
Having said all of that, let me expand on something more specific here, because the fundamental premise of let me get paid for the ads that I personally watch is actually super appealing, despite the fact that it's impossible under the current business model. Google, the largest advertiser in the world, I believe, has its own proprietary advertising pipeline. Let's start with that. This pipeline serves an untold number of websites, millions of them, actually, but among those websites is YouTube. If you think about it, that sort of closed system is actually a monetary holy grail, because it allows Google to receive ad dollars and then spend those ad dollars on its own platform. They take the money, they serve the ads on various channels, they split the revenue with the creators who made the content that got the eyeballs, and then everyone goes home happy. Sounds good, right?
Yeah,
Well,
solid.
Except if an application like Pi were to become mainstream, it would then mean that YouTube is now taking in advertising dollars and just losing it because they can't serve it to the users, or if they do, it's blocked, unless Pi lets them serve it to those users, in which case they would now have to not only pay Pi themselves because it's a middleman business, but also the individual people
Pi is
using it.
literally inserting
Make sense?
themselves as a
That's
middleman.
very obviously not going to happen,
For
but let's game it out
advertisements.
anyways as if it were. What if we assume that Pi has an actual contract with Google? What if we assume Pi and Google are in it together, or just they want to make more money at the expense of everyday creators, which a lot of people would be completely willing to believe because Google doesn't exactly treat their own creators that well, but regardless, what if we then run the same sort of thought experiment? Pi is now the middleman. If a user subscribes to Pi, they get paid a fraction of the ads that they choose to see, which isn't going to be that many, because why would you watch ads for a fraction of what those ads are even paying, with the express intention of only watching those ads for profit, which defeats the entire fucking purpose of advertising to begin with, demonstrating a downward spiral of wasted human lifespans. And the rest, just what? The rest of the ads just don't appear? That's less ads that Google can even serve. But more importantly, it's more than likely a total loss of the revenue for every single creator on any platform that ever participates. Remember their own videos?
Google's
Spotify,
just
Twitch,
very,
YouTube,
very
and
anti-ad blocker.
everywhere else you go online. Do we see the problem? Pi would become the middleman that only, period, only, hurts the creators of any platform it ever manages to work with. And if it even manages to work with one at all, that is to say, thereby decreasing the amount of content that gets created or produced, because it's a net negative impact on all creators. Just like its sister company, Honey, which has now been exposed for complex affiliate marketing URL sniping scamming, for lack of a better word, across basically every single major channel on YouTube, is a net negative for all creators. Also, adding this in postscript because it didn't make it into the first cut because of how rapidly I was working. They're doing the same thing again, guys. Like, they're doing the exact same shopping gives you cash back coupons bullshit again, right? Like, exactly the
I honestly
same
gave
thing,
up on Honey because
right?
it never got
It's the
me
same people
really. It
doing
always
the
said
same
it couldn't
thing. I'll
find
talk
any
about the
deals
same
for
people in
me
just a second. It's
on
the
everything.
same, okay? It's not just the ad thing, right? Getting paid for the ads or ad blocker. I understand how some people might disagree with that, right? It's just a continuation. This is a new company doing the same stuff the old company was doing because that company got sold to PayPal. So now the same people are using a new company to do the same thing that they were doing with the old company. Okay? It's kind of mind-blowing. Just to be clear, Megalag has done an incredible job breaking the coconut wide open, looking at Honey, various YouTubers, and even hinting at some sort of larger plot that damages multiple businesses coming soon. but Pi.org is a currently blooming offshoot of that problem from quite literally one of the same people who created honey. And just to quote Megalag himself here, nobody is talking about it. For anyone who's not quite convinced on the continuity of it all, though I can't imagine who wouldn't be at this point, the number of listed team members for Pi.org on the official website stands at 25. Of those 25, including operations, partnerships, as in the people who get YouTubers to talk about them favorably, engineering, growth, product, and data, 18 of them are former employees of Honey. When I tell you that the quote,
Oh, who would've thought?
Unquote,
Basically
that
the same
everybody is
companies.
talking about right now across pretty much all of YouTube. Millions of people are talking about it now, actually. When I tell you that the problem has simply moved, I mean it. This new company is the same fundamental premise, that is, middlemanning revenue with mass advertising as an underpin. It is the same founder, the same development team, and they are currently pursuing advertising with the same sort of underlying techniques. If you look at the advertising that they're putting out there now under their Google advertising account, their verified account, it's the same stuff that they're putting out there, or sorry, were putting out there for Honey, right? They're just going to do it again because those techniques quite obviously worked. Honestly, not good. As a final sort of plea here, we can be reactive, which is fine. It's the only reason I'm even making this video in the first place. But we can also be proactive when opportunity arises. And with the reactive realization that Honey could possibly be a massive affiliate marketing scam, I wanted to jump in and talk about a proactive possibility that Pi.org is attempting to become, with a lot of advertising coming down the pike real soon, the exact same thing, only potentially worse. Regardless of what happens next, I appreciate the work of Mega Labs because that work and whatever comes of it here forward is the only reason that people like me are even giving any scrutiny to this. And it's also the only reason that proactive instead of reactive efforts might be taken in the first place. To be fair, I don't exactly know what those efforts might be, at least at this point in time. I am not explicitly not saying that we should just blindly cancel this company and hate on every single thing that they do on impulse.
No, but now, like, it's very important, especially for creators, to keep a very close eye on this company because they have a very bad track record.
But I do think that they need to come out with a pretty crazy detailed description and explanation of how Honey works, how Pi works, how they made it, why they made it, how they profit, and pretty much every single other thing they can possibly think of in the same sort of arena as those questions. Because they certainly do not deserve the support of social media creators outside of their own ability to explicitly earn that support with a valid and beneficial product, which right now, Pi.org and also Honey does not seem to have or be. That's it. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. Monthly memberships, locals and Patreon, video sponsor, of course, Ground News, great service, special deals, merchandise, social media, etc., VPN deal. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching. Question everything, and have a nice night.
Great video, great video. Yeah, no, dude, I mean, as long as they can get away with it, they're going to. This is literally just like them taking the same overall premise and just reapplying it elsewhere. And yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it, you know? Like, try to run the same model, just a, different target, so to speak. But that is interesting, and I can see why Google would be so freaking, like, pissed off at this. I don't think Google would be in on it, especially since it's, like, cutting their revenue, and then on top of that, still offering ads, like, secondarily. Like, it overall would be less amount of ads overall, so it just wouldn't make any sense for Google. That's a wild one, and I could easily see Google kicking them off the market soon. Like, honestly. I do want to watch the original video, though. The original Honey video. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!